Hi, my name is Stephen and welcome to my YouTube channel, Struggling to Succeed. This is episode 6 of my 52-week challenge to post a video every weekend around the subjects of philosophy, business, and personal development. This week, we'll be discussing the 7 levels of why. Let's get into it. 7 levels of why. So this little strategy is basically just asking yourself 7 times why around a certain subject. And every time you get an answer, you ask yourself why to your answer. We'll discuss that a little further later in the video. However, this is a strategy or technique that you can use to get to the real reason why you want to do something. This also comes in a few different forms. If you were to go online and check this out, there are other strategies like the 3 whys, the 5 whys. And what I've tended to find out through my research is that really the more serious the question you're looking for an answer, the more whys you want to ask. Asking yourself the 7 levels of why, or using 5 levels of why, or 3 levels of why on different questions in different areas of your life really are fantastic, because you really peel back the layers of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And you can actually come out with some really surprising stuff. There's some things that will just pop out of your mind when you're asking yourself these series of questions. You're like, wow, where did that come from? I had no idea that was in there. It might be some sort of regret you have. It might be some sort of hang up that you have. It might be a limiting belief that you didn't even know you had. As you go down, you get further and further and further closer to the real reason why. So you move from sort of the head answer and you move into the heart answer. This exercise, especially when I asked it directed towards my life, was rather difficult once I got the 4 and 5 whys, because it starts getting very personal. You start asking yourself those difficult questions that maybe you don't really want to ask yourself, that maybe you spent your life not asking yourself. So this is not an exercise that, go take 10 minutes and find your why. This exercise can actually be quite emotional and quite tough to get through if you really, really spend some time on it. During my struggles to succeed, I asked myself this strategy really about my life. My high level sort of what I want to achieve in my life is to be successful and have more personal freedom. Like, who doesn't want that? I mean, everybody probably wants that in their life. You want more personal freedom and you want to be successful. So the first couple of whys, when I asked this to myself, were all in the head. It was all dreams. It was all sort of like high level things, because I want to provide for my family and I want to provide a better life for myself. That was the first kind of 2 answers. But by the 3rd and 4th why, I was getting into some deep-seated thoughts from school, because I found it difficult to learn at school. I got frustrated in classrooms. I never really liked to read. I kind of felt like I was always in the lower side of the class when it came to learning, but when it came to sports and sort of things you did with your mind or on the fly, I was always kind of quite at the top of the class. But when it came to academically, I was at the bottom of the class. So I never felt like I was going to be successful through the schooling or through university. I just kind of got annoyed and, why? And then, I kept asking myself why. And by the time I got to the 7th why, I was really sort of emotionally involved in this. And my final why for the first time I did this exercise was, I don't want to waste a life. I went from my first thing, or my first why being, I want to have more personal freedom and be successful, all the way down to through a whole bunch of emotional garbage or sort of knowledge or emotional baggage is probably the better word, to I don't want to waste the life. I would highly, highly, highly recommend blocking off a couple of hours one day, get yourself a pot of coffee, tea, whatever your beverage is, get a journal out, get a bit of paper, write out what you want to do with your life at the top, your high level. I want to own $1 million, or I want to have a massive speedboat. I want to buy a sports team. Whatever your fantasy, super ending is, write it out. And then ask yourself why 7 times. The benefits of using this technique to get to the bottom of why you're doing something is awesome. If you have anything in your life that you're just trying to get a little bit more energy into or find a little bit more clarity, using these questions is a surefire, quick answer, or not so quick answer if you dive deep into it, but it definitely helped me. Hopefully it can help you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you can share, like, subscribe, post comments, start a conversation, do the things we do on social media. Love to hear from you and your experiences with this technique. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you next week. Make it a good one.